Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
I'm Jack.
and we have a new background. I have edited it. As you can see, we now have the other shelf is completely full. Skandar 3 is up on the bookshelf, and we also have a new artwork that I drew not that long ago, also behind us. So that's fun. We will be changing some more things over the next few weeks, including all of our designs. So look forward to that. But anyways, guys, let's get into this nerd chat. Joker will not be joining us. His house is falling apart, but that's beside the point. uh,
So dumb.
yeah, it is. But yeah. So the Oscars is coming out. So you've looked at the nominees, right?
Like vaguely, yeah. It's
Yeah.
the ones that I remotely cared about.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, honestly, we did. I don't think we watched that. None of us really watched that many movies this year, which kind of shocking,
yeah,
honestly.
I really didn't.
Like, I don't know. Like, I obviously, I think I watched all of the. I watched all of the Marvel movies. Uh, I watched what was it? I think in the in all of the things I watched two of the movies besides the animated ones that are in the Oscars this year. Let's see here. Where are the nominees? Here we go. So yeah, so like I watched two of the movies, and I think it was like one is freaking what's yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, and I watched freaking
surrounding towns for missing
Indiana
children.
Jones, and that's it. Those are the only two movies in all of the things except for the animated films that I watched. And
Nice.
as for the and with the animated films, um, I've watched two of them, and I plan to watch the two of the other ones. But it's just that was I was looking at that, and I'm just like, that's weird because the animated features it's The Boy and the Heron, which just came out. That was the Ghibli movie. Elemental, which fantastic movie, one of the best. Probably gonna win this for this year because it was.
Honestly,
Yeah, like I didn't we talk about it later and gave it like the first.
we did, and we gave a review, and I know that we're literally nobody, but our review was definitely positive,
Yeah.
stellar. We were very into this movie.
Yeah, and we gave it the first Nerd Chat approved thing, which I just flashed on the screen.
We did.
So yeah, and then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, that was pretty good. Obviously, I'm kind of surprised though that it would be nominated because it's a sequel and it's setting up for a sequel.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very much a like a middle of the pack movie. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to take fall damage in Legends Arceus.
Oh yeah, that. But then Nimona was
Well.
also nominated, which I forgot that came out this year. Did you see Nimona?
No.
Okay. Basically, it's about a transforming girl, and it's a Netflix movie.
Huh.
Which, that is probably the thing that surprises me the most because it's the only movie. I at least well, I don't know anything about Robot Dreams, but that is the only movie that I don't think it was in theaters at all.
Huh.
It was a Netflix original movie, and that was kind of that's kind of a weird situation to be in. But at the same time, like from what I heard, I can completely understand why it would be a nominee. And for the most part, with the animated feature films, I do agree that most of these should be in here. I'm just kind of surprised about Nimona and Spider-Man. Do they deserve to be in there? Absolutely. But then there's Robot Dreams, which I cannot.
That's fair.
I cannot understand for the life of me why that was in there. Primarily because I don't think anybody, like none of us had heard of this, right? Like you haven't heard of
I
it,
I hadn't. No,
yeah.
definitely not.
And Joker most definitely hadn't heard of it. I think we talked, me and him talked about it a little bit, and we were like, "That make what is that movie?" And then I looked it up, and it's like just some random movie that came out this year. Um, so yeah, and it's an animated movie. Uh, and then I looked at it on IMDb, and it's like one of it's not one of the worst rated, but it's definitely really low compared to a lot of other movies that came out this year.
My confession.
So I don't know.
Oh, what? It proves that
But yeah, honestly though, in a year that the Super Mario movie came out, I'm surprised that that didn't get a nomination because it was really good.
Yeah, that was a thought of mine where I was like, seriously? I know that it didn't get awesome reviews, but seriously?
Yeah, like it's one of the first video game movies that really felt like it was good. Um, like granted, there have been a few at this point with like Detective Pikachu and Sonic was really good. I know that I know you didn't watch those, right?
Correct.
Neither of you guys watched those, so I'm the only one who can actually say anything about that. But I really like them. They were well-made movies, and the fact of the matter is that things have been improving, if ever so slightly lately, when it comes to a lot of the video game and animated remakes of animated movies, or shows, whatever it is.
Yeah?
So we have been on the up and up for those. So I'm kind of surprised that Super Mario wasn't on there because it was a significant improvement. It was so good. So I don't know.
Go away.
And then as for like the rest of the movies, like I understand that like uh, as for like other movies in the list, I honestly think that the only other movies that people probably have watched is frickin' Oppenheimer and Barbie because of Barbenheimer.
I would agree.
And like nothing else on the list of besides the things that we just talked about would people like sure there's some things that people probably talked about like this Poor Things thing because the fact that it has Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo in it, that does lead me to think that that might have been something that people watched, but I've never heard of it. Never heard of American Fiction. Never heard of Killer of the Flower Moon.
So Killers of the Flower Moon actually is based on a book that my dad and I read, and it's actually a really good commentary and understanding of kind of the horrors that were enacted upon the indigenous people here in the States.
Oh,
but it's
okay.
definitely not a movie that everyone would normally want to go see, mostly because it's like as if it's not a documentary, it's fucking close to it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other movies as well that that I'm honestly just like, huh? Why are these in here? Now, granted, I think a lot of these might just be because the fact that the Oscars have never been good. They really haven't. But like, my dad, when right after we saw frickin' Dungeons and Dragons, his first thought was if this is not in the if this does not get nominated at least for an Oscars, I am rioting. That was his first thought after the after we watched it. And I mean, to be fair, it's a fantastic movie. I knew it was never going to get a nomination, but at the same time, it is a fantastic movie and a lot of people loved it. So granted, most of those people who liked it are Dungeons and Dragons nerds.
Valid. I mean, yeah.
Like actual nerds who are just like, yeah, this reminds me of all the times that I went with my party and all this stuff. So, I don't know. And I think that's honestly the problem with a lot of these awards shows is that they really don't they only really focus on the interests of the specifically the people who are the ones who vote, the big ones, the big kahunas.
Yeah.
And like the thing about the Oscars especially is that it feels kind of shitty because if you look at it, it's actor and actress in both leading and supporting roles. Then it is animated feature film, cinematography, costume design, directing, documentary short feature film, documentary short film, film editing, international feature film, makeup and hairstyling, music, original score, music original song, uh, best picture, production design, animated short film, live action short film, sound, visual effects, writing, adapted screenplay, writing original screenplay, and that's it. Like it's very vague, and there's not really a lot of opening for a lot of the different genres of all these movies and stuff, because like if you want like a lot of people are not going to be going out and seeing every single film that comes out this year because they don't,
Or any year.
or any year, exactly. Like I was looking through IMDb and I was still finding movies all the way through like 400. There were over 400 movies this year, and probably more. Like honestly, maybe 1,000 movies that came out this year. Maybe even more than that. And
Around the world, I'd say for sure more than that.
yeah, so there's like there's so many movies coming out constantly all over the world, and it's like it's not even a wonder why it would be. It feels disingenuous, especially to be doing these awards shows when there's so many. Like the Game Awards almost makes a little bit more sense than the Oscars because there's less games that people talk about. Like granted, there's tons and tons of games that no one will ever bring up again in the Game Awards. But with the Game Awards, people are still talking about nearly every game that was even nominated. So, and like granted, a lot happened this year. So, so people did forget about a lot of different games that did come out this year, and were like, "Oh wow, that one came out this year," or "Holy shit."
That's true. I did remember being like, "Oh my gosh, that was this year."
Yeah, and because this year felt long. So, and
I mean, 2023 felt like the longest and the shortest year in existence.
yeah, it
However,
was a weird
like
year.
the January is almost over is wigging me out.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's like, I mean, granted, we're older now, so years will feel faster, but
Ugh, I hate it.
so I don't know. So there is that, but at the same time, it was like,
We're still 25 this year, Zephyr. It's not okay.
yeah, we're turning a quarter of a century.
I know.
That's just
Oh yeah,
that's so weird.
it's bizarre.
Yeah, one sec. But yeah, like I don't know. I just think that's fun. It's funny to me that especially the Oscars, it feels like almost none of the movies nowadays are things that that any of us would actually think about, because we didn't watch like hardly any of the movies. Like you watched? Did you watch Barbie and Oppenheimer?
I did not.
Okay, one of I think Joker might have. He might have watched Barbie.
I think we watched Oppenheimer.
He might have watched.
I doubt we watched Barbie.
I mean, fair. But I think my parents both watched both of those, because they came out. But like, comparatively, last year, even that, it was like, huh, what are all of these? And it was so weird because like one of the nominations we watched after the nominations were happening, because it's an Ireland thing, and my grandma wanted to watch it. It's a terrible movie. Don't watch it. But
Which one was it?
The Banshees of Inisherin or whatever, that thing.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, but I heard about it, and I heard it was like awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. And it's like, why did this even get nominated? I am not surprised that Everything Everywhere All at Once won a lot of its awards, because fair.
That was a great movie.
It really was. And then as for the animated short films, Pinocchio won last year?
It did. I know.
That's surprising. Well, I mean, to be fair, Turning Red is pretty heavy, and most of the like just saying the people on the board are all white men. So
Yeah.
uh, I mean, it makes sense why Turning Red didn't win. Because
Unfortunate sense, but sense nonetheless. Yes.
yeah, it makes sense, but yeah. But like even other movies in there make sense. Like Black Panther makes sense. White would win. And we all know about that. Don't know anything about the documentaries. That's not surprising. Film editing, there were a few things, but yeah. International short films, never saw any of those. And yeah, I don't know too much about all of these, but like Black Panther came
I
out.
did remember that last year I watched an international short film because there was the first Oscar winner with Down syndrome.
Yeah, I think you did talk about that. And it's just it's kind of weird. It's weird to me that all of the with all of these movies is just like they don't feel right. I don't know. And I don't know. There's just a lot with it, and I think that like part of that might just be because we're getting older and stuff like that, and we're actually kind of paying attention to the Oscars. But like at one point,
In a weird sort of way, yeah.
like I don't know. There's just so much with that, and it's just like it could be better. And I think like the best, honestly, if you want to learn about movies and shows and stuff, one of the best ways to learn about them is to watch YouTubers nowadays, and that's a weird thought to think about because
Isn't it though?
yeah, like we talk about like all these different movies, all these different shows that we're really interested in, and we're talking about them, and while we don't necessarily give all of these shows and stuff like an award or whatever, sometimes we do, and it's like and it's mostly a special occasion when we do, but it's the same kind of process. Is like we talk about all of these things, we talk about what's good, what's bad, and that's one thing that the Oscars really don't get to do, is that they just it's just an awards show. There's no talking about like why each of the what's good about the nominees, what did like they're not telling people. Like honestly, I think that if the Oscars want to do better, is that they would literally make a YouTube channel, for lack of a better way of doing this, or like just have something going on for the next between the time of when they are announced for the nominees and when they are the winner is revealed, talking about why each game they consider this to be, why each movie they think it deserves to win such award. Granted, it's not gonna be popular, but that would be an interesting way to do it, and it would feel a little bit more genuine, I think. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are that's my thoughts, and I'm sticking to them.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's weird to me. It is very weird to me that at this point in time we have all of these things, and honestly, like I said, I have watched maybe like maybe two of the live action movies, two of the animated movies. Plan to watch two more of the animated movies, and then I think Wonka is on there somewhere.
I didn't see it, but I wasn't looking also all that close.
Okay, I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I thought that it was like nominated for something, but at the same, it doesn't matter. It's probably like mostly because it came out so freaking late.
It did.
Like it's not gonna win. I highly doubt it's gonna win. I can kind of
Which is a shame, because apparently it's really good.
yeah. So I don't know. I need to watch. I need to go and see it at some point. I just haven't yet. So I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. But
I'll become the
I don't know. And that's like the other thing about like these movies and stuff is somehow like the most often thing that you're gonna see, and you're gonna be like, oh, maybe I should go watch that. Is every now and again you will see something like it gets nominated, and then you're like, oh, I didn't hear about that. Maybe I should go watch it. But then you watch it, and then it's shit, and it's like, why was this nominated?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. There's so much with that, and I think it's one of the things that really annoys me is that the animated feature film never gets anything but that. And they seem to consider animated films are specifically for kids. They can never, they don't hold anything for adults. Which, and as such, they never get like, hey, we should probably put this in we should probably put this one actor into, into leading role or supporting role. Like, Elemental, 100%. If I had the chance, I would put both of those actors into actor and actress of in a leading role because they did such a good job. But they're not gonna. So, and or also, I would put Elemental in Best Picture. Is it? It probably wouldn't win just because of the fact that there were a lot of movies.
But it would have been up there because like
Yeah.
it managed to cover topics that Disney has been really weird about in the past and do it gracefully, and it was so good.
It was so good. It was, and this is turning into a we love Elemental thing again, but that's okay. But yeah, and it's just like, but Best Picture will never include anything from the animated things. At least, not in a long time. It hasn't. I think the last time was what? Frickin' Snow White.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and it was because they didn't have a best animated picture.
Yeah, exactly. And they created the best animated picture because of that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And I think that that's one of the big things that I think that if the Oscars wants to be doing good or better, one of the things that they should do is, rather than having it be best picture overall, it should be best for each genre. Or best for several different genres. I don't know if they need to have like every single genre that had movies that year, but there's a lot of genres that get movies every year, and I think that it's important that they at least have some representation from each of them. And then when the best picture is, and then the best picture would basically choose from all of the winners of each of those different genres, and that's when and basically they don't get to vote on who gets best picture until all of the other winners are chosen for the different genres, and then each of those genres gets one placement in best picture, and then they choose from those. I think if they were going to do something smart, that would be what they would do. But are they going to? No, they are not. Let's just be honest here. So, I don't know. And I do have to say, it's kind of hilarious that both Barbie and Oppenheimer are in Best Picture. Place your bets on what's gonna win. My bet is on Barbie.
I bet they have to share it.
That would be interesting. That would be so freaking hilarious because honestly, Barbie and Oppenheimer would not have done as well as they did if it wasn't for Barbenheimer.
Literally.
Like the memes about Barbenheimer just.
And then, can you imagine the memes that would come from this? Hashtag Barbenheimer canon.
Like, honestly, like, I honestly would not be surprised if, like, for the majority of the different things that they are both in there, that they both win. Like, actor in leading role, Oppenheimer wins. Actor in supporting role, I'm not certain exactly if it's going to be Barbie or Oppenheimer. Probably going to be Barbie, but I don't know things about either of them, so There's
Did
that.
you see Ryan Gosling's comment though on the fact that he was nominated but Margot wasn't?
Yeah, that's weird. Why was Margot Robbie not nominated for leading role?
Sexism. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
Like, let's see. So, instead it was Annette Bening from Naiad, Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller of Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan from Maestro, and Emma Stone from Port. Emma Stone is still winning things? Or she's
Yeah, I mean she's still acting.
yeah, she's still not, but I don't know. That's just kind of funny. Also, can we talk about the fact that Barbie has an actress in a supporting role nominee, but not frickin' Margot Robbie? That is
Right.
weird. That is weird as fuck. I don't know. That is weird. But yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like back and forth for like almost everything it goes back and forth between Barbie and Oppenheimer winning, except for obviously the animated films because that's different.
True.
Anything that they are in, if only one of them is in, then that one's gonna win. If both of them are in, then it will be a 50-50 shot of which one's gonna win. And then in Best Picture, it's gonna be like such a they're gonna be calculating the votes, and then they're gonna be like, holy shit, it's a tie.
Literally.
It's a tie between Oppenheimer
We
and
have
Barbie.
a three-way tie, but it's just Barbie and Oppenheimer.
It's Barbenheimer. Like, I think that they have like an odd number of judges or whatever for it, so it technically couldn't, but
I think that's true, yeah.
But I have like a feeling like the there are going to be two people, there are going to be two groups that are going to be voting for Barbie and Oppenheimer, and then there's going to be like those few people that are voting for something else, and because of that, those two are going to have the most votes. It's going to be hilarious. To be another thing to think about though is that probably Oppenheimer is gonna win if because white men.
True.
So honestly, I see that winning more likely than than Barbie. But that's just me. That's just my thoughts. Because it's less likely, but at the same time, a lot of people watch Barbie. So I don't know. We'll see exactly what they do, but those are my thoughts on that. Honestly, I don't want to see any more awards shows. I don't really give a shit. If I will probably I'll probably like briefly look at who won each of the awards when it happens. But the thing is that even with 2023 last year, I don't think I looked at who won because it was just like, yeah, we know that like the majority of them went to frickin' Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I mean,
yeah,
fair. Like,
that's true.
like in like that, it just makes sense. Like I can't think of a reason why they because it was a well-made movie. I don't like it for my own reasoning, but it's the frickin' that one fight scene just still bugs me. We are not mentioning it.
You just mentioned it, dumbass.
We're not saying what it was. That's what I'm saying. Oh, but yeah. Oh my gosh. But at the same time, it was a lot of people really loved the movie, and I can understand why. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, that one made sense, but I don't know. I don't know. They need to be more. I don't know. If the Oscars are gonna improve one thing, like I said, they need to put more genres in there because it's not working at this current at the current pace that they're doing. So, yeah, we shall see. We shall see what they do. But yeah, We should talk about something else because this is getting talking about the Oscars is getting boring. What other awards shows happened recently? Obviously, there was the Game Awards, which we talked about them, but we didn't like. I don't think we did. We record anything about them? Do you remember?
I don't think so.
Okay. We might have I think we might have talked about like the nominees in a live in a video, but I don't think that we ever like talked about like the winners and all that stuff. Like you and me watched them close together, I think. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched them as that was happening, and to be fair, it was well done. I'm not surprised that Baldur's Gate won a lot of the awards.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of wish that it had won less. Because there were other good games this year. It's just that
This is true.
yeah. But I am planning on at some point getting Baldur's Gate 3. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So we shall see.
You just really want to fuck that bear.
I do not want to fuck the bear. I don't know. I want to see what the hype is about for the most part. And see if maybe I would enjoy it. Also, can we talk about how Cult of the Lamb has been just a weird I
mean, it's kind of great, not gonna lie.
Like, I haven't played too much of it, but they just came out with a weird with an update.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's strange.
Like,
I don't know how I feel about the update, but the original concept is just kind of funny.
it kind of is, because it really is a it very much feels like a Stardew Valley or literally any cozy game, but also a dungeon crawler.
It really effectively combines both of those genres in a way that I don't think anyone ever
Expected?
really expected. Because cozy game, you think, okay, middle-aged white ladies will also play this game. Not Cult of the Lamb.
No, like
Aaron is not going to play Cult of the Lamb.
like I like my parents would probably be like, Cult of the Lamb? What the fuck?
My dad saw it on my Switch and tried to get me to pray about it.
And you were like, oh no, it's just stupid.
And I was like, bro, it's not that deep. I
It's really
promise.
not. Like it sounds way worse than it is. Like, it's bad. Like, if you actually look at the story, it's bad, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. But also,
Yes,
that was
but
last
I will
year?
say, all of the so-called bad stuff is, genuinely just them being mocking of what you would do. It's
Yeah.
the symbols, everything is not real. It's not like you can actually, unless you're actively trying to involve yourself in other things through this game somehow.
Yeah.
You'd have to involve other things. It would be a purposeful decision to be heretical, I'd say.
Yeah. And yeah, it's mostly making fun of, and that's funny. It's just a stupid,
Right.
It's a stupid
And to
thing.
be fair, my dad is also the guy who refused to watch Coco because he firmly believed that Dia de los Muertos was the people of the Latin people worshiping the dead. And I was like, bro,
No.
are you okay?
No, it's literally a Catholic holiday.
Yeah, I tried to tell him.
It's literally a Catholic holiday. Well, to be fair, with that, it's the Catholics coming in and changing a holiday more accurately.
I mean, it's kind of the MO of the Christians, Yule and Easter and, everything.
Yeah.
So...
Like combining holidays is kind of like the church's thing. Because the truth is, like, with all of these holidays, firstly, me and my dad have talked about it in the it's actually there's like a pretty it's not like a 0% chance that Jesus was actually born on around Christmas time.
No, but it's also not a 100% chance that he was.
Yeah. So it was more of like a combining of holidays, especially because of the fact that it's easier to combine holidays than it is to completely get rid of a holiday. And
Yeah,
Dia de
no,
los
like, not
Muertos,
criticism to anybody, but
yeah, it's literal. Dia de los Muertos is literally about um honoring
Remembering
the
your
dead, honoring the people who have passed on, and that's it. um,
yeah, and then my dad was like, they're worshiping the dead, and I was
No.
like, how? And he was like, well, the second I see a dead person talk, and I was like,
that's
you played Ghost Recon. Get the fuck out of here.
Your dad is weird sometimes. That's
My dad is baffling.
Oh yeah,
Regularly.
yeah. But
I told him he couldn't have an opinion until he watched it.
I mean,
And so that's why he watched it, because he wanted to have an opinion. And I was like, you're an asshole, but you're not an idiot, I guess.
did he start to understand afterwards, or?
It took a lot of articles about Dia de los Muertos.
I mean, to be fair, it's a bit of a weird holiday. It's literally about the dead coming back to Earth to
I
spend.
would like to point out, though, a good portion of people who celebrate it do not actually believe that the dead people are back on the planet.
Yeah, it's more of just honoring them. It's not about
Literally.
like whether or not like if you don't want to believe that, then that's on you. That's fine. It's whatever. I kind of have a weird I have a weird interest in like the dead coming back to life. It's kind of, or not necessarily coming back to life, but coming to the
Coming back into the land of the living for a minute.
yeah. It's kind of an interesting thought process, and so there's that. But I don't know. Those are my. I'm not gonna get into all of my thoughts because it's complicated. But what?
Oh, I'm just trying to imagine you having a complicated thought. It's funny.
Oh, I have lots of complicated thoughts.
I know. That was a joke.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's kind of an interesting idea. But yeah, with like Cult of the Lamb is like kind of in a weird situation because it's like it's just making fun. It's that's literally all it is.
It is. It is not trying to be anything. It is not trying to convince children or anything. It does not even claim to be a children's game.
No, it is not. Like, does it? I don't even know if it has a rating. But
I think it's rated T.
Is it? It might be. I don't know. I have it on freaking GOG, and GOG doesn't have, at least not on the main thing. They don't have the information. So
The ratings. Well, that's convenient for little teenage boys who want to have things they shouldn't.
well, I mean, they do like if you do go into like mature rated games, it always warns you. And I don't think that you can. I don't think you can enter them unless you have put in your birthday as being over 20 or over 17.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you do have to put in your birthday when you create an account, and then yeah, and so it will be like, sorry, this is M, you can't go in here. But I don't know exact details because I didn't get GOG until after I turned 18, or it was relatively recent. So yeah, but yeah, also it's so weird to think about that Cult of the Lamb wasn't last year. It was in 2022.
It was. I know.
Like that's.
I got it when it was brand new and buggy as fuck.
Yeah, and so did I. But
it was so good though. Even then, like.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued to see like what it's like at this point in time, but I'd have to I haven't played it in a while. Like let me see. It says a year ago is the last time I played.
Oh wow. I played. I don't remember. I think it was not necessarily 2024, but it's fairly recently.
Yeah. It might be it might be nearly 2 years by now because I don't think I played it really since the release. I might have played it a little bit since then, but it wasn't much. So, there's that. But I don't know. It's interesting. Um, Also, I don't think I've played Stardew in a while. That's sad.
Mm.
Well, to be fair, with Stardew, GOG doesn't record a lot of my playtime because of the fact that I usually play with mods. And,
True.
well, I have been playing with mods, I should say. And, and it's a little bit different with that. But, that's beside the point. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be more with game awards and stuff like or award shows in general. If they want to be good, they need to be better, and it's not gonna happen.
You know what we need?
An award
Book
show for
awards.
huh?
Book awards.
I mean, they do exist. It's just like not a show.
I want the whole 9 yards, red carpets and all.
Fair.
And I want J.K. Rowling banned from the premises because fuck that book.
Yeah. Like I want to see freaking A.F. Stedman and Aisling Fowler to be getting awards for their amazingness. That is the Skandar and the Fireborn series.
Word. But I want to see them do it in pretty dresses and get recognized in front of everybody in the world.
Oh, absolutely. That would be amazing. Also, frickin' Rick Riordan every frickin' year just shows up and is like,
No, he's just the MC.
huh?
He's just the MC. He could win any award, but he's also the MC.
That would actually be so good if he actually, yeah. That, yeah, if he like like he could win almost any award for sure. But yeah, if he was literally the MC, then he's not actually he's not winning the awards. He's putting aside like him winning awards so that he can show off other people's work. And I think that like he kind of does that already because of the fact that he has the Raiden Presents thing.
True.
Like,
Which is why he should be the MC.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I don't know, like absolutely him being the MC, and at least for right now, A.F. Stedman and Aisling Fowler, they should absolutely be winning some awards right now because, let's be honest, Fireborn and Skandar, so good right now. And then what? Aragon just came out last year, so well, not Aragon, but Murtag. So he's freaking Paulini is back, which is insane to think about. Is he gonna? I don't know if he's gonna make another book this year, but he's back.
Back-ish.
Yeah. From the looks of it, it looks like he is going to. After Murtag, it feels like he has set up a sequel. So I do think that he is going to be continuing on. Exactly what that means, I don't know, because my guess at this point is that the next book might be about Arya. Because we haven't really seen too much from her, so, and we haven't had a book that was specifically focused on her, and we've had 4 books that were specifically focused on Aragon, so.
I mean, main character.
Yeah, main character. And he hasn't. He's not really supposed to be that. He's going to be involved, but at the same time, it's kind of an interesting situation. But yeah, with first with the Fork, the Witch, and the Worm, it felt like they were getting ready to bring back Aragon, as well as to go more in depth with the world, seeing more of the different things. Like I would love to see a book that is literally just about Aragon's cousin farming. Like like it doesn't have to be like a huge thing, but literally just the everyday life of somebody, especially somebody who has a not just one really, but 2 cousins that are literally like 2 of the most feared dragon riders in the world at this point in time. Like that like everyone knows that he's the cousin of Aragon, but they kind of but people don't really realize that he's also the cousin of Murtag. Which is just absolutely insane to think about. Like I would love to see some that would be great. If he's like, yeah, my cousin Aragon and my cousin Murtag are doing some great things right now, and everyone's like, Murtag, that the beast, because a lot of people, because even now people still do not like Murtag, even in the at the end of the first book, it's like people don't know that he's Murtag. He keeps his name hidden. The only people who know who he is are the people that are his friends, and this other one group. But honestly, one of the two things with Murtag just coming out is that I would love to either see more from Murtag or more from Arya as being main characters. I would love to see either one of them be the main characters for a bit. I don't really want to see Aragon right now because, like, if Aragon is going to be a main character, I want him to be more of, like, short stories talking about, like, his...
He's told his story.
Huh? Yeah, he's told his story. He's told
Aragon's
the
story has been told.
Yeah. Well, Arya and Murtag have a lot of their story that is kind of not known. And that's one of the reasons why I love Murtag is because of the fact that it really delves into his backstory as well. Even though it's after everything that's happened, but it is telling the story of, like, what he was doing and how he a lot of what happened to him between, like, when before everything and during the time of when he was being controlled by Galbatorix.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you haven't read it yet, but absolutely, when you get the chance, I think that you'll enjoy it. I know that you don't like Murtag, but I think that it really does help to paint him at least in a better light. Does it redeem him? It's kind of up to you, but yeah. But yeah, and I don't necessarily know if Paolini would win an award for Murtag, but at the same time, it would be like, it would at least be good to at least have him be nominated for something.
True.
And I think the big problem with why they don't do awards for an award show for books is mostly because of the fact that there's a lot more, if you think about it. There's a lot more books out there than there are movies or shows or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. There's also not really a show's awards show.
That's true.
Like there's no specifically anime awards show. Like most people that if they're going to talk about anime, they're going to talk about it on My Anime List and then never bring it up again. Which is a little bit annoying, but that's whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to watch more anime. Let me just be honest about that. I'm so far behind on so many things right now, and it's just absolutely hilarious. Same thing goes for my manga because, oh my gosh. But I don't know. So those are I don't know. I would love to see like an awards show specifically for manga, an awards show specifically for anime, an awards show for regular books, an awards show for I don't know, like lots of different things, but we'll probably never see them. But basically, my point.
Unfortunately, some things are just too niche. Like,
yeah, and honestly, it feels like movies are getting to that point now where it's so easy to make hundreds, thousands of movies in a year, and it's like there are so many people who are making movies and making shows and all these things, and as such, there's just there's no one in the world who could watch literally everything. So an awards show just it's not gonna work really. And it's one of the things that I really like about this one YouTuber that I've been following, Mother's Basement, because every single season he talks about basically a whole bunch of the shows that are currently airing that year, and talks about like how each if people should watch them. And he does ones you should watch, and then he does at the end of the season he does the hottest trash, which is basically like these are so bad you should not watch them. Or if you do, be aware that you are going to just be like, what the actual hell was this?
Man.
So yeah, and it's not necessarily that these things are so bad. It's just that Some of them are not well made, and there's lots of different reasons on why he considers them trash. Some of them, it's literally just because they're a harem.
Oh.
And, like, to be fair, most harem anime are really bad. So, yeah, I don't think he, like, talks about, like, things that are actually really, really bad and do not deserve any praise whatsoever. He does actually give a lot of the, even though he does call them the hottest trash, he does consider them, like, most of them are something that he would at least say, yeah, you can watch this. This is actually a reasonable thing to watch. He has never, I don't think he when he was doing the hottest trash of, the year that, freaking, Promised Neverland Season 2 came out, he did not talk about that, even though it was literally the worst thing that ever existed. So.
Yeah, Promise Neverland had really good potential for a really good anime, and from what you guys have said, they just did not take that opportunity.
No, basically what I think I've told you, I've already said this, but basically, with the first anime, the first season, great. It basically followed the story. The second season, they rushed it. They basically were like, okay, we need to get this. We want the anime just finished, or not the anime. The manga has just finished over in Japan. Let's rush it, get it all done. Let's get everything done, and it's just like, it really doesn't work. They had to cut out so much, and it was just, they cut out one of my favorite characters. They cut out the entire Goldie Pond arc. And that just is a complete crying shame. I think I don't think they cut out Zazie or any of Norman's group. Well, they might have cut out some of Norman's group, but they cut out I think they cut out a lot of people. Everyone from Goldie Pond.
That's super annoying though, because Goldie Pond was really important. It took up like 4 books. Like,
yeah, like, honestly, I think that
how are you just gonna nix 4 books? The fuck?
Yeah, Goldie Pond is probably one of the most important arcs of the entire story, and they just completely cut it. And it's honestly, so obviously a lot of people really got into the series at the beginning because it's a mystery. This is cool. It's not necessarily horror, but it's horror adjacent, and
It is. It's spooky for sure.
and it's a lot of people really enjoyed it. And then you get Goldie Pond, which is one of the best arcs. It shows how smart Emma is, and it's incredible. Like, Emma is considered the dumbass of her group, but when you look at her by herself, she is probably one of the smartest people that you will ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And that, the fact and Goldie Pond is one of the best moments where we get to see that. It's also they also cut out the entirety of the shit talking God, basically.
Oh man.
Have you gotten to that part yet, or I don't?
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Actually, I do think so.
Oh, you do. Okay. But yeah, like, to be fair, that arc where they actually go and talk to God, it's like very, very much a it's a lot. They don't really show too much, anyways. They don't show her deal until much later because, yeah, that deal is like very major. It's kind of insane what exactly the deal is, and I don't think you've gotten to that point yet, but.
Mm-mm.
Because that's right at the end, so you do not find that out until the very last volume, what exactly her deal was with them, and I just love that the fact that she had the gall to make a deal with God to make sure that basically every single human would be free. There would be a complete separation between the demon world and the human world. And there would never again have to be any conflict between the two. And the fact that she was able to make that deal is mind-boggling to me. And really, she didn't she sacrificed a lot for it, but at the same time, she really didn't. It's. I'll just say this right now: you will love when you actually get to that moment. And then obviously read the extra book. Oh, yeah. But I don't know. Promised Neverland is one of my favorite series, and it's such a crying shame that the anime just did not do well.
Go cookie.
They did so much bullshit. I don't know. We've been going for almost an hour at this point.
Have we really?
Yeah, we started about 55 minutes ago.
Dang.
Is there anything else that you really want to talk about? Because, like, honestly, I can't really think too much of, like, anything else that's really important right now.
Yeah, not really.
Okay. Well, in that case, next week is the end of Percy Jackson. At least the series. So I think that should be our topic for next week. If you're willing to race to get that done.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Yeah. Because me and Ben, I'm sure me and Ben want to talk about it because it was.
Yeah.
This season was great. And we'll talk more about it when it happens. But like, the latest episode goes all the way to right before the final battle of the first book. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's about to fight Ares. So. And that was the latest episode, and then the last episode is gonna be the final talks, and probably the reveal of who is the actual bad guy. Who's ready for that? Anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this nerd chat. I don't know how much we actually. I do not know the exact amount of time that we actually spent talking about the Oscars and that, but
Probably not a lot knowing us.
well, I think it was like about half an hour that we focused on them, but at the same
Wow,
time,
not bad, not bad.
yeah. But at the same time, it's like they need to be better, and that's the simple fact. And if I think that after this year, there should probably never be another Oscars. But one thing that I would like to do at some point, and we can discuss this at a later date. But I would before we leave. I would like for the Nerd Chat crew and probably also the Can crew to basically find movies for every single category that they have and basically make our own version of the Oscars. What exactly that means, we will see, but that's something that I would like to do. When is that going to happen? Is that going to happen? We shall see. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this Nerd Chat, and we will see you guys next time. But on